Shalom, Shalom Yasharallah. First and foremost, I'm going to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakathum to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessings be unto y'all households. All right, and it's your brother Gadal from the Great Millstone Dallas branch. And in this quick lesson, we're just going to get into the word, study. All right, but first, let me bring out the scripture. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh Bashem Shah, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, right? Just going to get into the importance of studying. And someday, myself, as well as any brother that's in the camp, right, or that's not in the camp, that's in the faith, right, can do. You can always study to always get better. And in these bodies, you have to continue to study, or else you will forget what you have learned. Constantly going over things. As the Apostle Hart says, well, I'm gonna give credit to the priest Taz in our camp, because he told me this. Repetition is the key to mastery. So you have to constantly keep doing things, all right, in order to master it, which really goes into you studying it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get the Google definition of the word study, because I was looking at etymology. Matter of fact, I might get a little bit of the etymology, just a little bit of it, but, the Google, it really hit it on the nail for me for the most part. It says, study, the devotion of time and attention to acquiring knowledge on an academic subject, especially by means of books. All right. And, the similar word, it says learning. Learning, what it says, the acquisition of knowledge or skills through experience, study, or by being taught. Learning, work, activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. All right, and these are just, some of the similar words. All right, so as you see, it's a devotion of time and attention to something. That's the thing. That's a way of studying. All right, it is for to acquire knowledge. So you devoting time and attention to acquire knowledge on something. All right, to get better at something. All right, to learn. It requires you to be diligent, making that constant effort at something. Like you have to constantly go over breakdowns. You have to constantly look at the Hebrew. I ain't saying you got to look at the Hebrew every single day, but as a priest, Anna from our camp, at least one time a week. You have to constantly keep going over things to get it ingrained inside your mind. That's why the apostles, elders, right, and on down, when they go into certain things, like for example the MOTB, there's a reason why they keep going into it, because they want repetition. If you keep hearing it, it's going to get ingrained inside your mind. Eventually to the point where oh yeah, I know what the MOTB is, right? As well as the names Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. That was the first thing I learned, the names. That was the first thing I mastered. Yahweh, he is Bahashem in the name Yahweh Shai. He delivers, he saves. Right? The names. Every brother said every lesson. There's no lesson that you could go on a brother's page and not hear the names Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Or it shouldn't be like that. Right? But your study is the devotion of time and attention to acquire knowledge on something. So if you're in the scriptures, man, are you devoting your time to being in the scriptures to learn about this certain breakdown? And keyword devotion. You got to be devoted. Matter of fact, let me get devotion. Let me see what that says real quick. Devotion. This is gonna be the Google definition. Devotion. Come on, Luke. Give me something better than that. All right, here it goes. It says devotion, love, loyalty, or enthusiasm for a person's activity or cause. All right. Matter of fact, let me see what the etymology says, because it's not hitting the nail like I wanted to. Hold on. Let me see what it says. Salaki. Devotion. Okay, there it goes. I see one on devotion. It says dedicate by a vow, sacrifice oneself. All right. So you're sacrificing what? What are you sacrificing? You're sacrificing your time, the devotion of time, the sacrificing of oneself, of time and attention to acquire something. So if you want to get better at the Hebrew, you have to go into the Hebrew. The more time you get put in going into the Hebrew, the better you're going to get. Is to think of it like a sport, or you can think of it as a video game, for example. I say, I just do the video games, for my gamers out there. If you want to get better at a game, you have to devote time to that game to get better at it. Whether it's 2K, Call of Duty, MLB, Madden, you have to play the game to get better at it. If you don't play the game, you're never going to get better at it. You can always watch other people play it. Yeah, cool. But you're not going to get better until you put your time and effort into it. As well as basketball. You can watch Kyrie Irving all day, Luka all day, right? For the Mavs fans out there. You can watch them all day, right? But you're not gonna get better unless you go out there yourself. That's the same thing with the Hebrews, right? That's just giving the Hebrew as an example. If you want to get better at the Hebrew, you have to give time to it. Like you have to go and study it for yourself. A brother can teach you all the time, but you have to give the devotion and time into it. You practicing it, getting better, as well as a breakdown. You going over breakdowns by yourself. Hell, make it. If the Lord Spirit hops on you, make a lesson on it. Whatever subject you're trying to get better at, you have to give time to it. The more time you give to it, the better. Speak to myself first and foremost, because that's something I'm working on. Giving more time to the Hebrew, giving more time to mastering these breakdowns. So, it's just on my spirit. Like, you know what? Let me just go into that word study. And it is a devotion of time and attention. So you got to be focused. You got to be zoned in on it. You can't be sitting there, you can't be playing a game and then listening to a breakdown thinking you're finna get a breakdown. No, you have to get off that game or whatever you're doing, right? Look at the scriptures. Practice. I mean, listen to it, of course, and like follow along. And continue to do it until you get it. Because you got to keep doing it. Otherwise, you're going to forget. Hell, I got to make sure I'm doing it. All right? There's times where I don't be doing it. I'm in the flesh just like y'all are. But we can't sit here and act like, man, it can't go on unnoticed. Something that I got to work on. I got to study more, bro. To be a better teacher to y'all. So I can feed y'all better. So I can whip up something better for y'all. Right? So, hey, man, matter of fact, I'm going to get the etymology of the word study. And, all right, here it goes. This is study, a verb. And the main one I wanted to get was, it says to study, apply oneself. You have to apply yourself. I mean, in other words, you have to give an effort. And I think it's another one that goes into being diligent on here, I think. Yeah, here it goes. I had to scroll down. It says to be diligent. All right, so you remember, I don't know if y'all remember, I did a lesson on being diligent, which is to make a constant effort. You have to give a constant effort to something, so you got to be trying. You can't be like lollygagging, kind of doing it, You got to be trying to get it down. All right, yes, it's gonna be a little hard sometimes, but as time go on, you're gonna get better if you keep going into it. The more you go into it, the more time you give to it, the better. The lesser time, the worse. And it's going to show, speaking to myself first and foremost, man, because, I can always do better at studying. Hell, that's what I'm working on, studying more, giving more time to the Lord so I can get better, be a better teacher for y'all through the power of Spirit, Yahweh Shem Rashai. But anyways, man, that's all I really had to say. Lord willing, y'all was edified. I'm going to end it out by saying, call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Until next time I say, Shalom, Yasharallah.